Good evening. Today is June 15th. You are watching the Norwood Finance Commission on Norwood Community Media. Our virtual meeting is live tonight. This is an open meeting, and those who wish to access the virtual meeting can do so through the posting of this meeting on the town's website. I will proceed with roll call of attendees. Bob Donnelly.
Here.
Judy Langone.
Yeah.
Kelly Mooney.
Here.
Slater.
Here.
Tom McQuaid.
Here.
Molly Ahern.
Here.
Emily Chambers.
Here.
Tony Mizuko.
Here.
Bernie Cooper. Bernie?
Here.
No? Okay.
Here.
And Kathy Carney.
Here.
And is there anyone else who is in attendance? If so, please identify yourself. Okay, I think we got everybody. All right. So it's a fairly short agenda tonight, but I think important because we've got to move some money around, as you all know. So let's start with the acceptance of the minutes from Tuesday, May 26th, 2020. Did everybody have it? Okay. So moved. Alan?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Bob Donnelly?
Yes.
Sorry. You people all just shifted on me. Every once in a while it happens. Thank you, Bob. Any discussion? Seeing none, hearing none. I'll put it to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Roll call. Judy?
Aye.
Kelly?
Aye.
Bob?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
And I vote yes also. Thank you. Unanimous. Okay, so the first thing we have on the agenda is the reserve fund transfer request from the fire department for $11,739. Mr. Mizuko, do you want to talk to this? Or, oh, George, there you are. You can talk to this, huh?
I certainly can. So we had an issue with one of our rooftop HVAC units. It's the unit that services the police side administration offices. And pretty much every week we have an issue over there where it's either too cold or too hot. The system isn't functioning correctly. We have a company called ATC Mechanical who came in, evaluated one of the rooftop units, and was found that both compressors were basically beyond their lifespan and were causing it to malfunction. So the company came in and replaced those compressors to basically the amount of $11,000 that you had just stated.
That was 2 compressors?
Correct, but it's one unit, but there's 2 compressors in that unit.
Okay.
So we had to have that repaired because honestly, for the deputy chiefs on the police side, it was about 86 degrees in their offices.
Oh,
And
good.
unfortunately, they can't open their windows.
Okay. So Tom, this is a reserve fund transfer. And are there any other reserve fund transfers?
Not at this time.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions for the chief? Alan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. George, when they were up there looking at the RTUs, did they take a look at any of the others, or do you know anything, about their status at this point?
They didn't look at the other units at that point because they knew it was Unit 3 that controls the police admin offices, but they have told us in the past that the units are all pretty much beyond their lifespan. They're in very poor condition. They're having trouble getting parts because the units are so old that they actually have to go out and try to find parts for them. Actually, with unit number 3, the coil, they said, is starting to disintegrate on that unit.
Mhm.
So every year we expect to, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to get through the summer, but it's just going to be increased costs until we replace all of the units.
Right, so it's highly possible that you could have a problem with one of the other units at just about any time.
Absolutely. The only unit that we most likely will not have an issue is on the fire side. It was replaced approximately 2 years ago. So that unit's in good condition, but the other 5 are really starting to fall apart.
Okay, thank you, George.
Is this already on, I don't know who can answer this question, but isn't this already on one of the capital, the capital plan?
We appropriated money to hire an OPM and begin the design of the replacement of the whole system. We'll probably look for an appropriation at next year's annual for the actual replacement of the entire system.
Do you want to speed it up a little bit?
Well, we're in the process of selecting the OPM, and then we actually have to go through the design of a new system. So it was all programmed basically to happen as quickly as it reasonably can.
Okay. Anybody else? Kelly?
Mr. Mizuko, how much do we expect for that project to cost? And would that be a capital project or something we try to put in the operational budget?
Oh, it would be a capital project. I mean, you're probably looking at a $2 million cost to replace the entire HVAC system.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
Just
Yes,
very-
Alan.
Yeah, just again on the design, Tony, I assume that, when they go into that, they're simply gonna, review everything and, and because of all the problems we had with this design in the past, not simply piggyback on what was done before, but do a stem to stern review and come up with what we hope is a modern, up-to-date system that's gonna last, its useful life as opposed to what we wound up with.
Correct. The reason we're taking time to hire an OPM and do a full design is the building needs a new system. Now, it is a building that the majority of it works, operates 24 hours a day. So the system gets beat up more than a traditional commercial system. But this is also, we're hitting the 20-year mark, and we've been spending significant dollars every year for a decade or more.
Mhm.
So we're not looking at just what can we do to patch it. We're looking at replacing the entire system with something that will work and run relatively problem-free for the next life cycle of the system. It would be one thing if we got 20 years and we said, gee, the system's getting really old and at some point it should get replaced, but we've gotten to not even quite year 20 and it's just an annual disaster with the system.
Mechanical
I
equipment
can't believe it's 20 years.
is questionable, so, but thank you.
Okay. All right. Do anybody want to take a vote on this?
Now, this
So
is a
moved.
project that the central facilities group will be involved in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've already actually been in taking a look at the system, and we have brought an energy manager on board who's becoming familiar with it. So it'll be better managed in the future, but the system itself is not going to be lasting too long. The facilities group is going to be, if not directly responsible for, heavily involved in every building related capital project that we do going forward.
Understand, thank you.
Okay. Alan, were you going to make a motion?
So moved.
Second? Anybody?
Second.
Okay, Bob, thank you. So this is for $11,739 for reserve fund transfer for the fire department. No, I'm sorry. Judy, you vote.
Yes,
Bob Donnelly.
Yes.
Kelly. Kelly? Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
I'm a yes. Mr. McQuaid, is this like the last one? You can sign it for us?
I'm sorry, ask that again, please.
Can you sign this for us?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, on to the next one.
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, municipal relief request for the DPW for $12,450. Who's speaking to that?
I can take care of that. This is just for the purchase of additional liners for the cemetery. Unfortunately, the cemetery's level of service has gone up this year. There have been a lot more burials, so money is just needed to be moved around to purchase more liners. The town does actually make money off these liners, so there's a net revenue gain to the town, but as we don't operate the cemetery on a sort of an enterprise fund basis, so there's no balance other than the budget line to take these out of, but we do purchase them, utilize them, and then the cost we sell when we sell a lot or when we sell the burial, we make quite a bit of money on these.
All right, anybody got any questions? No? Okay, I'll take a motion. Ellie, you want to make a motion, please?
So moved.
Okay, second, anybody?
Second,
Okay, so this is for the DPW. It is a municipal relief request of $12,450.
could I say
Judy?
something? Could I say
Yes.
something?
Yes,
I'd just like the public to know, this is not additional money. This is money already in the budget being moved around for another purpose, which is this particular request.
where is this coming from?
Snow and ice.
Snow and ice. Okay, that was the Mike Ryan note. Okay, thank you. All right, so transfer the money from the snow and ice to the cemetery. And Judy, how do you vote? Judy, how do you vote?
Yes,
Bob,
yes,
Ellie,
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I'm yes. So now, does that one need to be signed also, Mr. McQuaid? And can you do it?
I will do so.
Okay, thank you. So on the agenda, I have special town meeting budget items. Is this it as far, Tom, is this it for as far as transfers are concerned tonight?
That's all of the reserve fund and municipal relief. At about 5:20, I sent you the information on the town meeting for the special.
Okay,
So I don't
Fine.
think people had a chance to look at that in their email.
I have not.
No.
no,
No.
I didn't either. No. Let's see if I can get it up without losing everybody. Did I lose you all?
Maybe Tom could put it up on the screen and we could take a look at it.
Yeah,
It might not be an
that's-
issue.
That
I
would be
will
good.
do so.
Thank you. And who's going to speak to this, Tony?
Which one is this?
Um, Special town meeting budget items?
So there's 3 warrant articles. One of them is, I'll take them in reverse order in terms of their complexity. One of them is just our annual MWRA loan, and that's the our annual water lining loan that we need to get approval for in the fiscal year, so we don't lose out the interest on a zero interest loan. Lose out the
Mhm.
ability to zero interest loan. The
And
second
how much
one,
is that for?
629,000.
Okay,
The second one is the 2 capital items that have to be completed before the fall. One of them is school vans. The other one is a projector project at the high school. That's so that they will be ready to open. The cost of the vans is going up a little bit. Locally, Amazon has bought over 500 vans, which has kind of drained the local supply. And they've done that a couple different times at a few different locations over the country. So I think the original amount there was $30,000 per van. We're getting word from transportation that the cost is going up, and finding them is actually becoming a little bit of a problem. But those are the 2 capital items. And then the first item will be the internal transfers needed to be made at the special. We unfortunately won't have the majority of the details of that until later in the week, as we're just tomorrow getting our CARES Act funding in. So there's quite a bit of accounting that we need to do to get final numbers. I do know there'll be a transfer for $175,000 for the extended day program. We may need a transfer of about $30,000. We're still trying to settle it out for the school cafeteria operations for the lunch program, not the program itself, but they've lost some of their normal revenues, and there's a fund balance that they should be maintaining. The last I talked to Karen, she thinks that they may be all set, but we'll finalize that this week. We will have a couple of departmental transfers, as we normally do within the general government budget, for usually sick time payouts. I know that the building inspector's office will need one. That's on the larger end. The DPW will need one. The fire department will need one, but the fire department money that we need to move around this year for their salaries budget, actually, I think is going to be the lowest it's been in quite a few years. So George has done a great job managing that. I don't think we have police OT. So there will be a few others that are smaller where a salary line is off by $2,000 or $3,000. So nothing substantial other than building inspection, DPW, fire, and the fire number won't be as big as it normally is. And then I know legal counsel, of course, which is one of those areas that every year we seem to move money into. And I think it's one of those items that when we have some flexibility in the budget, we have to accept the fact that we're just not funding that line where it is. As I always say, when you hit 3 or 4 out of 5 years, you need to move money into a line. It's an indication that we're just not budgeting what we're spending in that line. We'll have that list by the end of the week, but most of them will be relatively minor.
Okay. One moment. Judy?
Yes. Tony, what's the funding source for these items?
So the capital items are going to come out of free cash. And the other items, we would take money out of the operating budget. There's money in snow and ice, so we figure that's the easiest line to hit because there's a substantial amount of money left in it. You could take it out of free cash, and then the money we'd otherwise take out would flow into free cash, but it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other way.
What is the total amount that you would expect to apply to free cash?
So applying to free cash, it depends. The capital total that we would be taking out of free cash would be about $300,000, but we could also take that out of the operating budget if we can find it.
That's the question, if you can find it. Okay.
Yeah, those are larger numbers. It becomes a little bit more difficult. Once we have the total of what we need for internal transfers, knowing that we had a once in a decade light year on snow and ice, that'll provide some flexibility. We'll be able to look at whether or not we can just use that to cover all or close to all, or if we got to find another $100,000 somewhere, maybe we look for it if we can reduce the free cash. But again, it's 6 one way, half dozen other.
So all this action would have to take place no later than June 22nd at the special.
So we will need to have a meeting before that. And when will the selectmen see this to vote on?
Probably similar to the FinCom, close to town meeting. So whether they have a meeting right before. Again, in an odd sense that, well, I mean, COVID has delayed everything. If we had received money 10 days ago from the state, they had a bit of a backlog in actually getting money to cities and towns. We wouldn't be in this situation, but we didn't want to make any accounting changes till we actually physically had cash on hand.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, we could simply meet right before town meeting and, make any necessary adjustments as required.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay.
Madam Chair, could I suggest that you vote on these 3 articles tonight, and then we could send out the so-called pink sheets?
Mhm.
I could mail those out tomorrow.
The 3 articles, meaning the warrant articles? The
Right, the
special?
extended day is $175,000 from snow and ice. The school food service is $30,000 from snow and ice. And the 2 capital outlay things from the school are $304,000 from free cash. And we want to vote to authorize borrowing for the water main and cleaning and lining of $629,600, which I believe is an interest-free loan.
Yes, that's the reason we're putting it forward, is to not lose out on the opportunity to get the 0 interest loan.
And it's all,
Go ahead, Alan.
I was going to say, just so people know, it's also funded through water and sewer rates. It doesn't take anything out of the general fund.
Right.
Could I ask a question on the school audio visual? Is that something that's been in the hopper to do? I mean, could you give me a little information on that one?
Yes, it's for the projector systems in the classroom at the high school. So those are effectively their chalkboards. That's the mechanism by which they deliver a majority of their content. So those systems are scheduled for replacement. If they were to go down or get replaced during the year, the teachers effectively lose their ability to deliver a majority of their content. It's a
I
it's
do
a
know
regular
one of
plan.
the, yeah, I do know one of the needs too is a telephone system and integrating it with the town. And that was on the agenda for, what, 75,000 or something. Have you been able to take care of it another way, Tony?
So we're going with a unified system that's going to cost less money, substantially less. That what we need to finish out the system will be on the capital plan for the fall, but we're able to start the project and get it up and running. And the total cost is going to end up being well over 100 million less than what we initially anticipated. But there's no appropriation required at this time to start the project
Okay.
and get ourselves a
Okay.
majority there.
Okay. Okay, so, board members, please let me know how you feel about this. Do you want to vote on this tonight, or do you want to wait on it until Monday? The reason why we would vote on it tonight with, this short notice would be, to get a pink sheet out. I'm not really sure that the pink sheet will reach everybody, but we could try it. What is your feelings?
Madam Chair, I would just
Yes.
assume I take a vote on these three, get them off the table and get things moving so we have it ready in time for town meeting. I have no questions on these. I'm going to support all of them.
Okay. Anybody else? Everybody okay with having a vote now? All right. So I'm looking for a motion, folks.
Madam Chair, I'd like
Yes.
to make a motion for $175,000 to come out of free cash for extended daycare costs.
Okay.
Second.
Snow and ice.
Coming out of
Sorry,
snow and
it's
ice?
coming out of snow and ice, yes.
Okay.
That's an
I'll second
internal
it.
transfer, not additional funding. We already have that in our budget.
Okay. All in favor? Judy?
Yes,
Bob?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
And I'm yes also, unanimous. Okay, the next one is for the
school food service.
vans.
Madam
Anybody?
Chair, I'll make a motion for $30,000 from Snow and Ice to the school food service account.
Okay. Anybody second it?
Second,
I think I heard Alan, did I? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. All right, all in favor? Judy,
aye.
Bob,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
and I'm yes also. So unanimous again. Okay, now we're down to the vans,
We have one more before the vans.
do we?
The school audio
It's
visual.
Oh, I'm
a
sorry.
capital outlay. It's a school audio visual,
Okay,
and that's for $164,000 to be out of free cash. I make that motion.
okay, who seconds it?
Second.
I'll-
That was Alan.
Mhm.
All in favor? Anybody would want to discuss? No? Okay. Judy,
Yes,
Bob,
Yes.
Kelly? Yes?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
Okay, I'm yes, unanimous. Okay, now we're at the vans, right? If this is up someplace on the board, I can't see it, so I'm sort of flying by what I'm
yeah,
remembering.
and the next one is the capital outlay for schools for 4 special needs vans.
Okay,
Is this request, Tony, for the 140,000 would cover the increase in the cost that you're
Yes, we're
seeing?
asking for that extra $5,000 per van just to make sure we have enough to cover it.
Okay, and that will be taken from free cash. So I make a motion for $140,000 for the schools for special needs van out of free cash.
do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Bob. All right, any discussion? Seeing none, Judy?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Alan?
Yes.
And I make it unanimous. Okay. Next one. Are we done?
The water main cleaning and lining, did we do that one yet?
Nope, not
That
yet.
is next.
That's
Okay.
for the borrowing?
Mr. McQuaid, could you explain that? I couldn't hear that.
So it's water main cleaning and lining. This is a continuing process. We want to do this now because there's a deadline for filing the application with the MWRA to get the interest-free loan. So that's why we're not waiting till the fall.
Okay. And the repayment. So we're doing the borrowing now, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
And authorizing the project.
All righty.
And also this piece is paid by the water rates.
Correct. Okay. Any discussion? No. Judy?
Yes.
Bob?
Madam Chair, I'm going to abstain just to avoid any perception of any conflict of interest. I'll
Okay,
abstain.
thank you. Kelly? Yes. Alan?
Yes.
And I'm yes also. So we have 4 yeses and 1 abstention.
Can I just
All
ask
right.
who made the motion? I'm taking the minutes and I want to be sure.
Judy made the motion. Who seconded it? Alan.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Okay, so where are we now on this?
Madam Chair, on other business, may I
Yes.
just speak about the motions for the annual town meeting? I think
Please.
if you've received your budget book, you'll see that the motions are in there. Jim Collins called me today and pointed out that I had on both the light and broadband, I had said it was from taxation, but of course it's from rates. So I have changed it on the copy that you will be proposing to say rate. So we'll just mention that to town meeting members at the
Okay,
time
thank
we
you.
make the motion.
All right. Thank you. Any other business?
Are you open for remarks?
Sure.
Okay. I'd just like to thank everybody and of course our volunteers. The budget book is nice and thick, lots of information, and for us junkies, we love it. It's a lot to go through. I think town meeting members will really enjoy getting into it. And I thank all the volunteers who delivered it and everybody at the town hall working for the town put a lot of work into this. And I want to thank you all very much.
Nicely said. Anybody else have any comments? Alan?
Just a very brief update on the Coakley Middle School project. The subcommittee, selection committee met several times. We went through 12 proposals. We ranked those. We did a short list of three firms. We then performed interviews. And when everything is said and done, after combining the results of both the pre-qual and the interview ratings, we decided to go with Compass Management, who we all know very well, as the preferred OPM for Norwood. We then put together a rather voluminous package, and again, thank you, particularly Kathy Carney, for helping to put that together. We submitted it to MSBA on Friday. MSBA will be taking a vote at their, I believe it's their July 13th meeting, and hopefully they'll approve everything so we can sign a contract with Compass, and then we start the process with Compass, in particular, having a lot of the role to select an architect engineer to do a feasibility study and get us off and rolling. So, that's very positive. A lot of people on the selection committee put a lot of work in. I just want to, commend Kathy for all her work, for the other members of the committee, including myself, for Tony, Tom Maloney, Paul Riccardi, and Margot Frazek, put a lot of time and effort in, and I think it was, a good effort in the end.
Great.
Alan,
Good to hear.
Yeah. Thank you.
Alan, what is
Yeah.
the timeline for this particular stage of the project?
Hopefully, middle of July, we'll find out that it's been approved by MSBA. We'll then sign a contract. We'll then sit down with the Compass and get a schedule going. The next big push will be to get an architect engineer hired, which we expect to do by the end of this year, hopefully a little bit earlier than that. And then we begin the feasibility study, which I assume the feasibility study will be a minimum of 1 year.
So, Alan, what is the financial impact? So, and when do you foresee that you're going to need some money?
We again, we haven't gone out yet for the architect engineer, but we did appropriate a sum of money for the OPM and for the architect engineer. We suspect that will be enough. I don't think we'll have to go back for probably a year and a half anyway, 2 years possibly, until we get into the design phase. So we're okay for the near future, but in a couple of years, we're going to have to look at some money and how we want to finance the project if we decide to go forward with it, and if MSBA decides to finance it.
Okay. All righty.
A long project. Okay,
Yeah.
long time.
Okay. Anybody, any other comments? Okay. I'm going to, hopefully we have some town meeting members that will be watching this program. And I wanted to mention that most everybody has received their town meeting books, their budget books. There's a couple of important things in that budget book. I'd like to say one was our letter to the town meeting members and the town residents. The other one was Tony's message to the folks. But after Tony's message, which is in ours and Tony's is in the first section of the book, there is an important new section, and that's got information on how we're going to be handling our budget coming up, so that people need to please read it, understand it. If you've got questions, get back to somebody either on the Finance Commission or to Mr. Mizuko. And if you have a question, other people have a question. So it's something that maybe we would need to address at town meeting so that everyone has a good understanding. So I really would encourage everybody to read at least those pages of the budget book, but I know everybody wants to read the whole thing, right? How many pages this year, Tom?
Over 400.
Oh, yeah. So,
Fran.
go ahead. Who was talking? Oh, okay. So please, town meeting members, plan on coming to town meeting and coming prepared, and it will be on your shoulders to be prepared this year. We won't be able to have as many information sessions and that sort of things. So again, if you've got questions, reach out and let us know. And thank you very much for serving. All right, is this it? We done with our whole meeting, right? Nobody has anything else?
Motion to
Okay.
adjourn.
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
Thank you. All in favor? Judy?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
I'm assuming that nobody had any kind of discussion on that. Alan?
Yes.
And I'm a yes also, so unanimous. Thank you, everybody, for
Thank you.
tonight, and we'll see you all on Monday.